Now, for years, many children who misbehaved or struggled at school have been automatically diagnosed as ADHD. But that is just an excuse, according to one American scientist who says parents and doctors are taking the easy way out.
I think Ritalin is handed out too easily.
Now they think, oh, maybe my kid doesn't have ADHD, and the whole family starts to destruct.
You'll find a sufferer in every playground and in every classroom around the country. But according to a controversial new book, ADHD simply isn't real.
I think he's making outrageous claims that ADHD doesn't really exist, that it's just a group of symptoms.
The book, by American paediatric neurologist Richard Saul, will hit Australian stores in March. In it, he says ADHD does not exist, that it's a collection of symptoms that could be explained by other illnesses, and that ADHD makes a great excuse. The diagnosis can be an easy-to-reach-for crutch.
I think it's really offensive to say that's just bad parenting or it's just an excuse when we've got some great parents trying really hard to manage some really difficult kids.
He was always quite a bouncy kid, running off and doing his own thing and very full of beans.
Laura Martin is the mother of 6-year-old Nicholas, who was diagnosed with autism at 3. Then behavioural problems followed at school, and encouragement by teachers led to her getting him assessed for ADHD. Laura was stunned that all she needed to do was fill in a form.
Does he get up all the time out of his seat? Does he wiggle in his chair? Does he rock? Does he get distracted easily? All those sorts of things. We can go, yes, 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 he does all those things. And that was pretty much it. And they ask you a few questions and then here's your script for Ritalin.
Nicholas was put on a 6-week trial, and Laura says his behaviour changed, but for all the wrong reasons.
He became really aggressive, and he's not an aggressive child. He may bounce off the walls, but he's not aggressive at all.
He's now off Ritalin, and Laura is questioning the whole process of diagnosing ADHD.
If it's a brain disorder and you're going to pump my kid full of drugs, why wouldn't you go and do an MRI or some sort of scan on their brain just to confirm it?
Australians have the highest rate of ADHD in children in the world, and prescriptions for the disease have doubled in the last decade. Now, experts fear once this book is released, kids that should be taking their medication will stop.
They suffer more learning problems, there's more family conflict, families tend to fall apart when we stop ADHD treatment. That's a really dangerous place to go.
Child psychologist Ian Wallace disputes the claims put forward by Professor Saul and says that he believes the assessment process in Australia is world-class.
We would see someone for about 2.5 hours to 3 hours to diagnose them. We'd then get a second opinion from a paediatrician, and at the end of that we've got a fairly good diagnosis to say that it is ADHD, or often those assessments will say no, it's not ADHD, it's in fact something else.
All kids can be hyperactive at different points. You know, you go to a kid's party and the next day your kids are bouncing off the wall. So I mean, it's not to say that it's not other things that cause these problems.
If you have doubts, get another opinion, but if you're on a treatment plan that works, stick with it, because that's going to put your kid at the best place.
Probably good advice. It is a very difficult debate when even the experts can't agree. If you want more information to help you decide, go to our website.